Hello, this is Jess over at Old Silver Arrow. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi. It occurs to me that I've never showed you my very extensive journal collection, and we're going to remedy that right now because you need to see it and I need to be held accountable for how many blank journals that I have. So I've had an obsession with journals for an extensive amount of years now. I've been journaling since I was about 15 years old. I'm almost 25, which means it's been just about a decade. Perhaps in a separate video I will show you the journals that I've already filled with content, but for now I'm going to show you all the ones that have yet to be filled because I either haven't gotten around to using them or they're so pretty that I'm terrified to write in them, and maybe showing them to you guys will help me gain the motivation to actually put something in their pages. So let's go. These are not in any particular order. We're just gonna go for it and see what happens. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about each one. Starting off strong, this little number here. This is a pen and gear journal. It was a gift from my grandmother. She likes to buy me these kinds of things quite often. So we've got a nice light blue color, pretty little shiny flowers here. This is a lined page journal, which is nice. The lines are particularly close together, which is something I really value. We've got pretty end papers here and an elastic closure. I do believe there's a little pocket in the back of this journal as well. I'm not saving this for anything in particular, but it is an odd size. It's a little smaller than an A5, but it's larger than like a B6. And so I'm not exactly sure what I want to use this for yet, but if you have ideas, that's what the comments are for. Then we've got two Midori A6 journals, I believe. These are A6, they're very small. Blank pages, totally 100% blank. I bought these in Chicago at a little bookshop called Exile in Bookville, one of my favorite places. These come with archival stickers. I like to put the little idea diaries on them, but they also have spots where you can mark when you start, when you finish, what volume number, and a little bit of notes about what's actually inside the journal when you finish. So I have several of these. I'm actually currently using one of the B6 slim ones as one of my writing journals, but these little pocket sizes make me really happy. And once I fill that writing journal up, these will be next on my list to use. Also, one of the things that happens with every single journal in my collection is that I have to tuck the little ribbon bookmarkers in because my cat will eat them if I leave them out, which is why my B6 writing journal no longer has a ribbon in it. So then we have here, this faux leather journal. It says notes on the front. I don't know if you can see that. My cat's jumping up on things. It's also got this cute little harp down in the corner. Elastic closure. This one has a pen loop, which is really nice. The texture of this journal is one of the things that I really like about it. It's smooth, it's really soft. The pages in here are lined and it lays pretty flat. And if you'll notice, it's got months and numbers across the top, so you don't have to write in the date. You can just circle it or mark it however you choose to. It does have a ribbon, which I'm going to have to tuck back in to protect it from my cat. But this journal was actually given to my fiance as a gift, but he doesn't use notebooks very often and I use them nonstop, so he passed it on to me. I'm gonna use this for something at some point, but a lined journal. This next one I picked up at Walmart. Again, faux leather, notes and plans is what it says right here on the front, embossed in gold. This is another one of those lined journals, but what I liked about this one is that the lines are particularly close together. I'm also a huge stationery freak. This book smells really good. I don't know why, but it does. Pen and Gear brand, so I believe they still sell these at Walmart. You can pick them up for really cheap. I bought this for a reason. I don't remember what the reason is now because I never used it for that, but it's still in my lineup. Okay, next we have the Target pile of shame. So when I moved to go to grad school, I moved really close to a Target, which had never been the case before. Growing up, the nearest Target was like far from my house. It was an effort to get there, you know what I'm saying? Now I can walk to Target. This means that for the first few months of living here and attending grad school, I bought journals all the time for no reason, including this one, which you've probably seen a ton of people have this. It's pretty popular. Lined pages, bit of a gap at the top, little spot for you to write the date of your entries in there. Also, one of the things I didn't know, I'm actually using a very similar, oh, this one doesn't have it. Interesting. Okay, I'm using a blue version of this with butterflies on it. The pages in the blue one are perforated. This one does not have perforated pages. You can't tear them out if you make a mistake. Pro tip. This will probably end up getting used as my everything journal eventually, once I run out of the brand that I've been using for a long time. So 2 more. These are from Target. Also, just bought them in passing because I liked them. This one has gilded edges. They both have elastic closures on the back. Similar thing, just plain lined pages. The lines are a little bit further apart in these ones than in some of the other ones that I've showed you. Again, these will probably end up getting used either for class notes or for everything journals as well. I'm actually almost starting my candidacy exams for my PhD, so it is entirely possible that one of these will get used for reading notes. If you don't know what candidacy exams are, it's basically the portion of your PhD where your advisors make you create a list of like 120 things. Whether that be primary or secondary sources, some combination of the two. You have about a year to read everything on the list, and then you're tested on all of it at once and expected to know what's what. So, you know, it's kind of like an academic hazing ritual, but you have to make notes on everything in advance so that you know what you're talking about when the time comes and that you can study the note cards instead of going back to the library and checking out 120 books at one time. Anywho, this next one has all totally blank pages. It's super floppy, which is why I bought it. This is from Muji. I really, really like this notebook. I have been thinking about getting one of those like Paper Republic bigger sizes, maybe the A6, or not A6, I'm dumb, that's pocket size. Maybe the A5, I'm not sure. I have the small one, but this, I just worry so much that if I put it in a bag or if I take it outside, I'm going to damage this cover somehow, or it's going to get bent or marked up. I want to have a cover for this before I actually use it. So we'll see. We'll see about that one. That one is still in question. Then there's this. This is interesting. This is a notebook that's actually made out of corkboard. And it's got like some shiny bits in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's got like the black shiny bits. I bought this in college. It's got blank pages. It does have a ribbon. But basically when I was in college, in undergrad, I had a book grant, which meant I could use it to buy textbooks, and it was a certain amount per semester. But I studied English. I studied English and religion, which meant I didn't have to buy the super expensive, like for example, science and math textbooks that most people had to pay for. So sometimes I would have money left over on my book grant certain semesters, and you could just spend the excess in the bookstore. So I would buy journals, and I would buy like college branded sweatshirts. So I have an excessive number of sweatshirts from my undergrad. But this is one of the notebooks that I bought there. It's an interesting material. I'm always worried that it's gonna like crumble if it comes into contact with too many things. So I'm not sure what I'll use this for, but whatever its purpose ends up being, it's probably gonna be something that doesn't require it to leave my apartment like ever. So have to think about that. This next one has my initials embossed in the corner, which is why I'm holding it shut. You don't need to see that. But this is a notebook that was gifted to me by a friend in college. It's my favorite color, green, if you couldn't tell. It's got lined pages. This is from Shinola, Detroit, which is a stationery shop that will allow you to personalize some of your things. So it's got like a cover page and lined pages. The paper is really nice, and the lines are super close together, which I like because my handwriting is small. This is another one that's probably going to end up being one of my everything journals, so we'll see where this fits in the lineup. It's a little bit skinnier than the books that I usually use, but that's fine. We'll get to it eventually. Then I have 3 of these very, very skinny notebooks. 2 of them are Moleskines, and the Moleskines are totally blank pages, whereas this one here is a Flame Tree notebook, and this is the 3rd one in a pack that I bought. And it's got alternating lined and then blank pages. So for these, I tend to use these for my yearly reading journal. This year though, I'm about to do my setup for June, and I'm already over halfway through the notebook that I'm using. I'm actually using the third one in this Moleskine Kahir set. And so I'll probably have to pull one of these out sooner rather than later to continue my reading journal for the year, which has never happened before, which proves that I'm actually sticking to it this time. This is my third year in a row. Third year? This might be my fourth year in a row doing a reading journal, and this is the first time that I'm actually going to fill it up appropriately and like moving at the pace that I want to be moving. So that is a plus. Okay, next I'm going to show you my Moleskines. Moleskines are probably the journal I've used more than any other one. My past 8 journals in a row have been Moleskines, except for the one that I'm currently using, which is crazy. But these are my Moleskines. These are my babies. This similar thing, I used to get these with my book grant, and this is the accumulation of all the ones that I got while I was in college. So I've got 2 that are plain pages, red and black, both soft colors. I said red and black, didn't I? Black and red, both soft covers. The red ones are my favorite, although the last red one I used, the spine peeled really badly, so hopefully that doesn't happen to any of these other ones. But I mean, you never know. They've been sitting in stacks for a really long time. So I have those. Then I have one of these periwinkle blue that has ruled pages. My mom actually has the twin to this notebook. I bought 2 when I got this one. And I believe she's using it right now. So who knows, maybe this will be next. So we can kind of match. Then I have 2 black soft cover gridded notebooks. I do like these, but they take me an excessively long time to fill up because I stick right within the gridded lines. And like I said, my handwriting becomes very small when I use something like this. So I'll probably hold off on these for a little while, although they might end up being my candidacy note-taking notebook. Who knows? Then I have a hardcover black dotted notebook. I like using these for, you know, kind of decorative journaling sometimes, but at the same time, Moleskine paper, unless you're buying like the art books, is very thin, and my markers and my highlighters tend to bleed through the pages. So I typically don't use Moleskines for anything where I'm going to be very decorative. It's typically all writing. I've never had a journal where I wrote in it and it was like a dot grid, but we'll see. I haven't decided what to do with this one yet. And then there's this. So my senior year of undergrad, my school got in the Wizard of Oz special edition Moleskines, and this was the one I liked the most, so I got it. I haven't taken it out of the plastic, so I don't know what it looks like on the inside, but this is a linen cover, and so I'm really worried about it becoming very dirty if I use it for my everything journal. We're just gonna have to see with this one. This might be another one where I'm like, it's not allowed to leave my apartment, so who knows. And then this is my blue Moleskine. So this is a ruled journal, hardcover again. I bought this at TJ Maxx for $4. I didn't even know that they sold Moleskines, let alone Moleskines at a discount, which is crazy. So this was very exciting when I found it. They often have like the lime green and sometimes that really pale pastel pink. So if you're looking for discount Moleskines and you like mustard yellow, TJ Maxx is a good place to get them. So that's just a little pro tip from your journal obsessed friend. Okay, now some of the oddballs. So this is kind of a leather journal that ties together. I am certain that that's going to get annoying by the time I'm finished using it, but it has these kind of pages, a little bit thicker, almost feel like watercolor paper or something. I'm not sure. I don't think so, but as you can see, you can really clearly see how it was sewn together and how it's held. The paper is thick. I think you could probably use markers or something like that in here. And we've got the little like tri-fold flap that holds it shut. I bought this at a Viking festival that my friend and I just went to walk around because we heard about it and we were bored. So I bought this and someone like handmade it. I don't have the business card or I would show it to you. But somebody handmade this and I bought it alongside a quill and a bottle of ink. I've used the ink. It's very nice. It does tend to heavily bleed through if you don't use thick enough paper. I don't know if this is thick enough paper and I haven't brought myself the courage to find out. So someday we will find out. And then I've got this. This I forget what kind of paper this is. I'm pretty sure there's a note. These are from Barnes & Noble. I have 2 of these. This is like an eco-friendly Lacta plant paper. You can definitely tell that it's not your standard paper. It's very soft, and I don't know if you can like see the texture on it, but you definitely wouldn't want to use felt tip markers or anything on this. Maybe a quill would be good for this kind of paper, but it's fun, and this is my favorite color, which was my purpose in purchasing this years ago. I also have this one made of the same materials, and it has these little like sliding lock type things. You can flip this open and kind of get at the text block. This paper is a little bit less textured than the other one. It's a little more flat and usable. So this will get used for something eventually. I just don't know what. You know, I feel like this has such a specific vibe. You can't just go writing in it. Oh, the glitter lip gloss is not gonna come off. That's the only thing about these, is they feel very delicate, and like the slightest bit of moisture, I'm convinced would send them disintegrating. So keep that in mind when you're using them. Oh, lip gloss everywhere. Why did I do that? This next one was a gift from my aunt. It just says journal on the front in gold, and it's got gold edged pages. Very, very gorgeous end papers. I haven't filled anything out in this. And lined pages. This is the type of notebook that I feel like I could fill up in a single summer, and maybe I'll do something like that. If I ever come to a summer where I'm like in between notebooks and I just, you know, want to stick maybe 3 months of my everything journal in here, I feel like that would be a really good use for journals that small. Next, I have 2 Exceed notebooks. These are both from Walmart. This one is classified as a notebook, and this one is classified as a journal. Both lined pages, but look at the size difference. I don't really understand the point of this, but I really liked these colors. They were on sale. My friend picked me up a couple because she knows how quickly I go through notebooks. So these will probably end up being everything journals. My only question is how close together the lines are, which obviously I don't know because these aren't open yet. And I probably won't open them until it's time to use them, so we'll find out eventually. Then I have one of the larger sized Midori notebooks. This one is the A5, and it is a blank, oh wait, no, I lied. This is a dot grid, which I didn't realize. I bought a dot grid. And since this one isn't opened, you can see like the archival stickers that they give you in the back. You can put on like the volume number and things like that, but excellent quality paper. These always lay flat and open. I'm a huge fan of Midori notebooks. My only concern is, you know, getting the covers super dirty. But they sell covers for them if you care about that kind of stuff. These next 2, these are Pauper Press. So you can find these at Barnes & Noble or Barnes & Noble online. They also have a separate website. Both of them have golden gilded edges, lined pages. These notebooks are super cheap. These are like $12 for such gorgeous notebooks. These are basically my personal alternative to Paperblanks. I absolutely adore Paperblanks, but with how fast I fill up journals, it doesn't make sense for me to spend that kind of money on each one. Maybe I will eventually. I own one Paperblanks journal that I got as a gift, and I haven't written in it yet. I just find them really intimidating, so these are a great alternative for that. I love Pauper Press. The paper quality is really good with them. It's thick, it's creamy, I like it. I'm really excited to use this Celestial one. I've seen it online a ton, so hopefully I get around to that one sooner rather than later. This is another notebook from the Target Hall of Shame. You know, I bought this just as a little gift to myself when I finished something important, and now I don't even remember what it was that I finished. But the layout in here is really interesting. So all of your text goes in like this little box. It's got a subject line, and similar to one of the other journals I showed you, it's got the months and the days so you can mark when you wrote something down. Now that I'm looking at it, this would be great for candidacy because it's got subject. You could just write down the author or the book that you're working on and take your notes. I think this one just got assigned a purpose. But these are available at Target, and it's another one of those where the pages smell so good for some reason. So keep that in mind if you like to sniff books. It's one of those things, you know. Now for some of my tiny journals. this little guy. This has a flower garden all over it. Very, very pretty. The elastic closure is tight, it's thick, and it's got lined pages. I bought this at a Japanese stationery shop / bookshop. Where was that? This also might have been in Chicago. I think I was at a Kinokuniya. But definitely worth going just to check out little journals like this. Sometimes you just need a pocket size to slip in your bag and carry around with you. Now this is my only Paperblanks journal so far. So as you can see, gorgeous spine, beautiful cover, beautiful pages on the edges, and it's got this little lock that you flip open before you can write in it. It's got lined pages. It's got, I think, a red ribbon bookmark, and in the very back, there is a little explanation as to the actual manuscript. So like medieval manuscript that this book or this journal was based off of for its design. So that's really cool. It's just so beautiful that I'm scared to write in it because it's gorgeous. And I know as soon as I finish it, I'm going to want another one because it's so pretty. And then they'll have me spending like $30 on a pocket-sized journal. I don't know if they're actually that expensive, but in my head, that's how expensive they are. Next, I have this little guy, which I got at TJ Maxx. Shockingly, it's beautiful. It says memoirs at the top, gold embossing, gold edges. And if you look at the side, on the spine, it says, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are." And it's a little quote. So that's really cute. And on the inside, just plain lined paper. The lines are really close together, which you'll notice a theme, ongoing. That's how I like them because I write small. But I'm thinking of using this as some kind of memory book. Maybe for like future kids or something. I don't know. My grandma did that for my mom, where she wrote down a bunch of her like childhood memories and stories that my mom is always asking about in a journal and gave it to her as a gift. I really like that idea. I don't know if I'm old enough to like do that yet, but it's a thought. It's a thought. Next, we have, another Pauper Press journal. This one has kind of like a squishy cover. It's a little bit thicker. This one has lined pages, some really interesting stitching along the top and the sides. Live by the sun, love by the moon. I just thought this celestial pattern was so beautiful. We've got an elastic closure once again, and like I said before, Pauper Press has pretty high quality paper, which is one of the reasons I enjoy their stuff so much. This is one of the smaller sizes, so I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do with this. This might be another one of those journals where it's like, you know, you could fill it up in a single season. Maybe this is like a fall journal, you know what I'm saying? It could be something like that. So we'll see. We'll see. And then we have this one. So this is another journal from TJ Maxx. Really simple design, pretty cute, kind of summery. And then if you look on the inside, it's got like subject and date spots and some really nice lines. The paper feels pretty good, pretty high quality as far as, you know, stuff like that goes. There's a spot in the front to put your personal information. And then in the very back, there is a full year calendar, but it's not like dictated by the specific year. It's just like 1 through 31, and you can fill anything in on the grid that you would need to. So that's really convenient as well. And it's just such a cute color, you know, very summer, very cute. Then we've got this beauty, which this was a gift from my grandma. She got it for me a couple Christmases ago, and I just absolutely adore it. The paper in here is really thick and really gorgeous. It's completely blank, and so this, I believe, is more meant to be used as a sketchbook than anything else. I don't draw very often, so I've kind of been scared to use it just because it's so beautiful. So it's in a similar boat to the Paperblanks journals. But so I've kind of been afraid to use this one just because it is so beautiful. But I think, you know, I'll get around to using it eventually, and who knows, maybe I will draw again, because I've actually been drawing quite a bit in my writing journal lately, just kind of sketching out some of my thoughts. So who knows, could be. This is also a gift from my grandma, which is just so pretty. It's got beautiful sprayed edges as well, which this had sprayed edges before all of the books at Barnes & Noble did. Really pretty end papers, and then just really satisfying close together lines. And this is a super thick journal as well, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to use this for. We'll see when the time comes, but it's one of my favorites on the shelf. This one was a gift from my aunt, the same one that keeps gifting me green journals because she knows my favorite color. It's got this kind of stitched binding, kind of open stitched, which just means that this journal lays extremely flat when you open it up. Look at that, perfectly flat, which is one of the reasons it's so convenient. The covers are pretty thick. The pages are thick as well, and it's a dot grid, so this would be perfect for like a bullet journal as long as you weren't gonna stick too much additional paper in here. Like if you primarily use markers, highlighters, washi tapes, stickers, things like that, rather than a lot of ephemera, this would be really good for that kind of thing. But this is one of my favorite journals on the shelf, and I just haven't found an exact purpose for it yet, and I don't want to start something and then not have it be the thing that happens, you know what I mean? Like I want to, whatever I start in that journal, I want to finish in that journal. Okay, next I have a gift from one of my brothers, this gorgeous leather journal with a tree on it. It's got one of those straps that goes all the way around to hold it shut, and the pages are just absolutely gorgeous, super thick, super lovely, just beautiful. I haven't found a purpose for this one yet either. I'm really eager to though, because I want to use it so bad. I would feel so cool carrying this thing around. And it is also a trifold, so this little flap on the end protects your pages from, you know, anything happening to the ends of them, and then you just kind of tie this strap all the way around and tuck it in. Absolutely gorgeous. This was one of my Christmas gifts quite a few years ago now, and so I've just been scared to write in it because it's so lovely. Same kind of trend for all of these, huh? And yeah, it's got blank pages instead of lined, so a lot more freedom to be a little more creative and just, you know, kind of go all out with that kind of journal. And then last, but certainly not least, we've got my lion journal, which you can find these at Barnes & Noble, these beautiful Italian leather covers. It's beautiful, it's ridiculously thick, just gorgeous creamy lined pages, absolutely beautiful. This was a gift from my parents years ago, and I still can't bring myself to write in it because of how gorgeous it is. One of my goals moving forward is to use up some of these journals before I buy any more, so that they don't just, you know, sit on the shelf unused. I want them all to be full of my writing. I want them all to have a purpose, to have their own little life tucked away inside of them. So that's going to be one of my goals moving forward, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on which journals I'm using, which ones I'm about to use, what I'm using them for. It's going to be kind of an extension of the book side of this channel, and I really hope you enjoy journaling and stationery content because it's been one of my obsessions for a long time, and I'm really excited to share it with you all. So thanks for dropping by. I'll say hi to you soon.